Good
Yay,
evening.
buddy.
Time for the news. I'm your host for tonight, Catboy Kunhua. In the news, in a recent row between Canada and Saudi Arabia, starting over a tweet that was made by a Canadian ambassador, Saudi Arabia has replied with what many critics call a hugely disproportionate response. Suspending all trade with Canada, halts all flights, recalled all students and people receiving medical treatment in Canada. Saudi Arabia has taken a step further today by condemning Canada's appalling Canada's appalling human rights record for selling arms to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia said, don't they know we use these things to bomb busloads of children over in Yemen? What the hell's wrong with you people?
Oh my God.
In other Canadian news, reporters for the Toronto Sun are hugely disappointed that they had to shelve their latest anti-Islam column after news that the latest mass shooter in Fredericton was actually a white person. The suspect was revealed to be named Matthew Vincent Raymond, which just sort of rubs salt into the wound because that's a name that has 3 white guy first names in a row. Sun columnist Warmington said, he's probably not even a refugee or anything. My whole paragraph on how this is what happens when you don't stand up to Sharia law now looks ridiculous. Editors at The Sun confirmed they did attempt to publish Warmington's column before all the facts came in keeping with their journalistic practice, but by the time they corrected all the spelling errors, word of the suspect's ethnicity had already broke. Warmington added, I wish I didn't have to wait around and try to use the deaths of innocent people as a way to lend some kind of logic to the statements that would otherwise be deemed racist. I can only hope we get another mass shooting real soon. Speaking of mass shootings, recent mass shootings of gang shootings in Toronto this summer, Ontario Premier Doug Ford has introduced legislation that will ban the sale of legal handguns in Toronto. This is despite the fact that all of the guns that have been taken into custody so far from gang-linked shootings were all proven to be purchased and smuggled in illegally from the United States. No comment from Ford's office regarding these facts, but they did release a statement saying they will do away with the threat of children getting razor blades in their apples this Halloween by banning the sale of all oranges. Trump was on another vacation this weekend, but it was considered to be a working vacation as he kept lying all the way through it. According to a tally from the Star, Trump made 132 false claims last week. This is an average of 19 false claims per day. That's almost 5 times his daily average. Trump said he was able to keep up the pace by using a brand new wrist tracker called the Fitbit. The Fitbit. Trump has been working on some fresh material, making major new lies about car plants opening up in Pennsylvania. There are none. About Justice Neil Gorsuch graduating #1 in his class at Harvard. Apparently he wasn't even close. And not to mention his most glaring recent lie of all, saying that John Jr. was a wonderful son. This past week, another advisor of President Trump has betrayed him to the point where the White House has become a reboot of The Last Supper, except everyone is Judas. The latest person to turn on Trump is former advisor Omarosa Manigault Newman, who is always spelled with her full name in the press to make sure that she's not confused with any other Omarosa out there. She has written a salacious new book filled with shocking new details that everyone already knew.
Yeah.
Most shocking of the revelation all said she had heard a recording exposing Donald Trump as a racist. So finally, we have proof that a guy who refused to rent to black tenants, that a Nazi rally had some fine people in it, called Africa a shithole, spent 5 years accusing a black president of not being an American citizen with no proof whatsoever, and frequently attacks black athletes and journalists, calling them low IQ. We finally have proof that this man is a racist. Thank God for that. Another revelation came from Omarosa that she secretly recorded her conversation with White House Chief of Staff John Kelly and Donald Trump while she was being fired. Omarosa said she did not consider secretly recording Trump to be a big deal, as she was certain that all of the White House advisors and staff are secretly recording their conversations with Trump all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And all the time. And at this point, they're just waiting their turn for Trump to say something that either exonerates them or says something incriminating they could use in trade for leniency. And finally, Omarosa claimed that at one time she entered the Oval Office just after Trump was having a meeting with Michael Cohen. Omarosa claimed that she saw Trump eating a slip of paper, which no doubt had something confidential on it. This means that the hunt for Trump's tax returns have now gotten a lot grosser.